Have you ever felt? Are you listening? Damn.
A lot of activity in the crypto area these days, especially in the last 24 hours. So after this rise, as you remember, we expected to continuation of the rising trend, and there was a sort of correction to remove move a lot of optimism from people who are going long. So after this happened, we finally go up again for the new level, like $100 higher than before. So the overall rising trend here, and I would expect it to reach my goals, like targets like 6,800 or something. And if it would happen, then it will be even like a huge sort of the indicator for a lot of the people to go long. So it may even go above 7,000 if it will reach there. If not, then I would expect, even after that, I would expect a major drop. But even if it would not happen, I still think that we will not stay with this in this corridor price action, sideways price action for long. I think we'll need to go lower, but before that, again, the most likely I would expect to rise up to those levels which I already mentioned. So there's no particular like reason for this movement. Like some of the news are positive. For example, we can say about Max Kaiser calls for new all-time high in Bitcoin, and also the asset class tagged by the Morgan Stanley, which is very nice news and like appreciation of the crypto market. But in general, nothing interesting really happened in Bitcoin news at the moment. The other picture is with altcoins. What we see now is the dominance of Bitcoin dropped like 1.5%, which is huge. In fact, these days, and the market cap is $209 billion still. So the capital basically flows from Bitcoin and small altcoins. All the altcoins which were looked at before, you remember, we're looking at the altcoins which are possible gainers in the next run of Bitcoin. They are all dropped like 3 to 5%. And means that the capital flows from them to the high capitalization altcoins, which we actually expected as well, but it didn't have happen for a long time. So we switched to the small capitalization coins to get some short-time profits. But now you see the huge cap coins are rising, and the biggest gainer, it's the cycle of the crypto. It's normal. So the biggest gainer is Bitcoin Cash. And the reason why it happened, it's actually now there is some news about it. Bitcoin Cash has a hard fork, and it will probably happen, I think, November 15th. So before that, a lot of people are optimistic on the price and try to buy Bitcoin Cash to get both Bitcoin Cash and the forked coin. The thing that for the coin after the fork, the second chain coin. And the thing is, what is different with this Bitcoin Cash fork is that all the other forks were like despite the fork happened, all the miners like switched to the major chain to Bitcoin Cash, and the second part of the fork just died out. And this time it seemed like the community is a bit split, and both coins will be supported eventually. So it will very well may happen that the second coin will be like Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin, which was before, so it will be like second order of the forking now. So, and other opinion is that we will have the price of Bitcoin Cash plus Bitcoin Cash fork equal to the price of Bitcoin Cash before the fork. So it is sort of a risky game to play now, although it's a lot of the huge chance that Bitcoin Cash will spike even more, like, I don't know, 100% easily from that point. So on this news, and but again, it's on playing on forks is really dangerous unless you just hold Bitcoin Cash without trading and expecting to get your free coins, because it's already supported by Binance and Coinbase, I believe, and some other exchanges. So you would have your free coins. Otherwise, it's too risky, in my opinion, to jump into this train to try to get some instant gains. But of course, don't forget that everything I say is just my personal opinion, not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Another gainer is Cardano. Nothing really like outstanding in terms of the news. For example, Cardano price moves up because it was a base currency in a new exchange tapped 480, but it's not the news which will make Cardano move 6%. So what is happening is just the cycling behavior of major cryptocurrencies, and probably I wouldn't expect it to be anything different. But again, it's good news because we see some moving in the market, although the total capitalization doesn't change, which means it's a temporal thing. Second, one more news about the crypto is that there is one more ranking released about the blockchain technology projects from China, and now we see that EOS is still in the first position, and Ethereum is second, BitShares, Nebulous, etc. Bitcoin is moved from 10th to 19th position. It means a lot of the altcoins seem to be performing much better comparing to Bitcoin recently, at least in opinion of Chinese specialists. So very interesting to look at that, and you can see that basically the most promising coins. And actually, I would mention, for example, Nulls. You see, Nulls is 9th, but it's really low cap and has huge potential. Also, BitShares, you remember we were talking about both of them. BitShares is sort of stagnant now, but it's very nice in terms of the technology, and it has high potential. In general, I would say there is a lot of positivism in the market. You see, for example, from this tweet of tech, like quasi-tech analysis, that the things happened in 2015 before the rise. We had like 3 small red candles with relatively low volatility, and then we saw the rise. So this guy mentioned the same thing happened this time, and we see already some green in this month, so probably it will move right up from that point. It will be very nice, actually. Just for having some fun, please look at this video. Federico Tenga, you can find on Twitter. This is about the usability of the utility tokens, and it's actually well put it, and you can actually have a laugh as well. But very interesting in terms of the how actually utility token can be utilized these days. How far it is from being really applied into the real market, real economy, but still it has huge potential. Finally, while you're considering whether the ETF is important, or how the institutional investors, huge players, think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, we see a lot of the thought about it, but I would encourage you to listen this podcast episode, Unchained podcast, and from 57 minutes there is some saying about that huge players in crypto, huge investors in financial sphere, they basically say one thing and they do another thing. So although they claim that crypto is scam or whatever, in reality they think of how to enter crypto in a better position and as much as possible, because they see huge potential in this field. That's it. So basically it's like something really interesting happened behind the doors which we don't see, and a lot of positivism will be shown eventually, but not now, when everybody say, oh no, it's dying and it's bubble or whatever. Last but not least, NKN is one of the altcoins which were mentioned before. Very nice project. By the way, I made a review of this project. You can look at that one of the couple months before. I posted a video about it. So it was very low for a while, and then finally it had a very huge spike in price. Actually, the volume is not high, at least on the coin market cap. It's like 50% rise, but on PCX exchange, you see these spikes were basically on a very low, zero volume, just a very huge change in the asks and bids. quarters, but then from September we see huge volume appears finally, and this guy is what was actually traded quite flat without big change in the price, so a lot of the suppression for buyers, and finally we see this spike on the same volume recently, 50%. So I would expect that something just not released yet, but we'll see some huge move in the price of NKN soon. I would be very happy. It's a very nice coin in my opinion. So that is it for today, guys. If you were learning something, if you find something interesting, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for being with me for this video. Hope to see you tomorrow with a new update. Safe trading. Goodbye.